Hello, hello. Have you ever wondered or ever heard about Candida? Have you ever wondered if this common underlying stressor could be affecting your child's ADHD and exacerbating their symptoms? Does your kiddo constantly crave sugar? If so, then you definitely want to stick around because that's what is in this training today. I post several videos each week all about ADHD and how to naturally reduce those symptoms. So go ahead, click that subscribe button right now so you don't miss any additional training. Now, Candida is one of the most common hidden stresses that I see when working with families of children with ADHD. I would say about 80% of the families that I work with, we detect this on functional lab tests. So I just want to share this information with you just in case it may be affecting your child too. Now, before we dive in, I want to introduce myself to any of you who might not have met me yet. My name is Dana, and I am the CEO and founder of the ADHD Thrive Institute and the creator of the ADHD Thrive Method for Kids, which is a program that helps families of children with ADHD learn how to reduce their symptoms naturally. I'm a board certified holistic health and nutrition practitioner, and I work with families all across the USA and help them fight those symptoms that are debilitating sometimes their children and their family lives. These symptoms are stopping their children from being the best versions of themselves, from being able to learn like their peers, but also creating chaos in their family life. I've been where you are in the depths of the chaos. So I know exactly what you're going through. And that's why I'm so excited to be jumping on here today to hopefully offer some hope that this year can be better, that things can be different. It doesn't have to always be like this. Now, firstly, I just want to say that no information in this presentation should be relied upon to make a medical diagnosis, treat, prevent, or cure any disease or medical condition. So I am going to bring up some slides right now. Give me 1 second. Okie dokie. I'm going to share my screen. Hopefully you can see that. I am going to bring up my controller. There it goes. Okay. So does your kiddo suffer with any of these symptoms? Mood disorders, so things like anxiety, irritability, or depression, brain fog, which in essence is the same as the inability to focus or concentrate. Do they have food cravings of sugar or carbohydrates? Do they sometimes get gas, bloating, abdominal pains? Now, it may be Candida, and Candida is a normal organism present in the digestive tract. It is a type of yeast that is part of the commensal flora and is typically kept in check by the immune system and the rest of the microflora going on in the gut. However, Candida is opportunistic. And what that means is, given the chance, it will overgrow and cause numerous symptoms. So, what are some common symptoms of Candida? Just look at all of those symptoms that can come from Candida: fatigue, mood disorders like depression, anxiety, irritability, brain fog, aka inability to focus, ear and throat infections, gas, bloating, abdominal pain, diarrhea or constipation, thrush in the mouth or in the throat, nausea, fungal infections of the nails, of the skin, athlete's foot, a white coating on the tongue, nasal congestion or a postnasal drip, vaginal itching or burning, headaches, migraines, skin conditions, so itching or rashes or eczema or psoriasis, food or chemical sensitivities, food cravings, like I mentioned earlier, sugar and carbohydrates, joint pain or muscle aches, asthma, hay fever, sinusitis, or chronic sinus infections, weight gain or loss. Wow, the list is huge. And you don't have to have all of them. It could be one or two, or it could be a number of them. Now, you're probably wondering what causes Candida yeast overgrowth. Now, when Candida overgrows, it is a sign that something else in the body is going on. Because Candida is opportunistic, it will grow out of balance if your health has been weakened or your immune system has been weakened. So anything that disrupts the immune system or the microflora in the gut will create the opportunity Candida needs to overgrowth, including things like antibiotic use, antibiotic wipes. Anything that disrupts the immune system or the microflora in the gut will create the opportunity Candida needs to overgrow, including antibiotic use. Now, antibiotics, they wipe out the good bacteria in the gut, which helps keep Candida levels under control. And we know a lot of our kiddos have had antibiotics. Infections. Candida is often secondary to other infections in the gut. So things like parasites or bacterial overgrowth, which must be addressed first in order to bring the Candida under control. It could be from a high sugar diet. Sugar actually feeds Candida. It could be from heavy metal toxicity. So the body sometimes uses Candida as a protective mechanism against the harmful effects of mercury toxicity. So you want to remove the source of the mercury exposure. So, dental fillings and things like that. It could be from birth control pills if you're an adult, obviously. So oral contraceptives imbalance the gut flora. It could be from stress and lifestyle factors. Anything that weakens the immune system, too much stress, lack of sleep, poor diet, alcohol use, obviously, if it's an adult, will give Candida an opportunity to overgrow. EMF exposure, which is electromagnetic frequencies, are known to trigger Candida. This would include things like cell phones, Wi-Fi, smart meters. So we're probably asking ourselves, why does Candida cause brain fog and sugar cravings? And that is because Candida causes numerous brain-related symptoms that are similar to symptoms of a hangover: brain fog, headache, nausea, fatigue, because both Candida overgrowth and alcohol metabolism produce high levels of a toxin called acetaldehyde. Candida causes numerous brain-related symptoms that are similar to symptoms of a hangover: brain fog, headache, nausea, fatigue, because both Candida overgrowth and alcohol metabolism produce high levels of a toxin called acetaldehyde. Candida loves sugar because sugar is Candida's primary source of food. It will make you crave it so that it can get more and more food. Acetaldehyde, acetaldehyde. So you're probably asking, why does Candida cause brain fog or sugar cravings? So firstly, with brain fog, Candida causes numerous brain-related symptoms that are similar to symptoms of a hangover: brain fog, headaches, nausea, fatigue. And because both Candida overgrowth and alcohol metabolism produce high levels of a toxin called acetaldehyde. Now, Candida also loves sugar. And because sugar is Candida's primary source of food, it will make you crave it just so it can get more and more food. Now, how do you identify Candida? There are a couple of simple things that you can do at home to identify if Candida may be at play. And the first one is a Candida spit test. It's really fun, actually. The kids love looking at it. So what you want to do is you want to fill a clear glass with water and place it by your bed at nighttime. When you first wake up in the morning, the first thing you do, work up a bit of saliva and spit into the glass of water. Do not use throat clearing. So don't go. It is important that nothing enters your mouth or touches your lips before you do this. So do not drink any water, eat any foods, do not brush your teeth or kiss your partner prior to expressing that saliva into the glass. Now, immediately make note of how the saliva looks. Check it again every few minutes and observe any changes that occur within a 15-minute time frame. So healthy saliva will be clear, it will float on top, and it will slowly dissolve in the water without any cloudiness and without sinking. There are normally some bubbles or foam present, and that's okay. Now, Candida saliva will have one or more characteristics that may be a clue for Candida albicans overgrowth. They will have things like strings traveling down towards the bottom of the glass, like you can see on the screen. Cloudy saliva that sinks to the bottom of the glass, or cloudy specks suspended in the water. So, with that, you want to take the Candida self-assessment. And this Candida albicans self-screening questionnaire was actually designed by William G. Crook, MD, to be used for children to identify any predisposition. So, after you've done that, you want to take the Candida self-assessment. And this Candida albicans self-screening questionnaire was designed by William G. Crook, MD, to be used for children to identify any predisposition to Candida albicans yeast overgrowth. It is not intended as a means of diagnosis, like I mentioned earlier, but rather an additional method for gathering information. The results should be used in conjunction with the Candida spit test and should help you or your holistic health practitioner evaluate the role Candida albicans contributes to your child's health problems. So I'm going to drop a link for this self-assessment into the video description, so be on the lookout for it there. So if you suspect that Candida may be at play for your child, you can then speak to your holistic health practitioner to investigate and conduct further functional lab testings, and then develop a personalized health plan for your child. Okay, so the functional lab tests used to investigate Candida and other important markers are the BioMFX stool test, or the GI map, or there are a couple of other stool tests that different doctors use, and the organic acid test. So I'm going to show you today just a sample of what the GI map looks like and what the organic acid test looks like. Now, the first test we always encourage families to use is a stool test. And this one here you can see is the GI map. And it basically looks at the state of the gut. And as you can see here, it is identifying Candida yeast overgrowth, but it also looks at other amazing things as well. So things like parasites, bacteria, worms. There are also some healthy, amazing intestinal health markers that look at inflammation, immune system responses, leaky gut, reactivity to gluten, and digestive enzymes, and also if you're digesting your fat as well. Now, the next test here is the organic acid test, or you can say OATS test for short. And it identifies Candida, as you can see here, along with a host of other markers. It's an awesome test because it looks at over 70 different important markers in the whole body and how it's functioning. So it can show you the need for specific nutrients, such as B vitamins, which are super important for our compromised kids, diet modification, so things like salicylates and oxalates, which are chemical compounds found in some of the most healthy foods, detoxification pathways, neurotransmitters like serotonin and dopamine, norepinephrine and epinephrine. It looks at oxidative stress, mold toxicity, mitochondrial function, and lots of other markers as well. So you've got all this information now. You've got the results of your spit test, your self-assessment, you've got your functional lab tests. You're probably wondering how to combat Candida. So firstly is the anti-yeast diet, and it should be followed for a minimum of 6 to 8 weeks. Now, so firstly is the anti-yeast diet should be followed for a minimum of 6 to 8 weeks. And here on the screen is a snapshot of what that diet entails. You can see on the left the foods to include, and on the right the foods to limit. A big thing that yeast feeds on, as I mentioned earlier, is sugar. So you definitely want to be reducing the amount of sugar that you're having. The next approach is to bring in a range of supplements focused to target the yeast while following the anti-Candida diet for great success. You want to consider Next approach is to bring a range of supplements in, focus to target the yeast while following the anti-Candida diet for the greatest success. You want to consider additional supportive supplements such as probiotics and Saccharomyces boulardii, a beneficial yeast that helps remove unhealthy yeast from the body. Natural antifungals to mop up any nasties in the gut. The one I love is something called biocidin. And next, molybdenum or milk thistle may also be beneficial as they assist the liver in breaking down that nasty toxin that the Candida puts into the body. Now, if all else fails, you can seek your doctor's help, and they may prescribe a pharmaceutical medical antifungal such as diflucan or nystatin, but you must seek doctor's advice. Okay, we are going to summarize what we covered today. Now, Candida may be contributing to some of our children's ADHD symptoms. Anything that disrupts the immune system or microflora will create the opportunity for the Candida to overgrowth. You can identify Candida through an at-home assessment and spit test or gut test and oats test. You can target Candida through diet, healing supplements, or as a last resort, pharmaceutical meds under the supervision of your doctor. Now, if you suspect Candida might be a play for your child and contributing to their symptoms and are looking for answers for your child's ADHD and are ready to take that leap and start fighting their symptoms naturally, I'm going to pop a link into the video description that you can click to schedule a free breakthrough call with me and my team. We will speak with you personally about how we can support you so that you can get that calm back into your house, sometimes in as little as 3 months. If you have any questions, drop the comments below and we will come back and do our best to support you. But hopefully this helps you today in trying to determine, could your child be suffering from Candida? Take care, and I'll talk soon.